Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. It is your council recap, and joining me now, Chad Brecklin. He just counted down for me. It's just kind of funny coming on here. So you know this, you know how this works. So we're just going to jump right in, buddy.
I really don't have any idea how all this works, other than that you count down
count that
3, 2, 1
every single time.
You know, going live, so to speak.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
It's to help Nick, so he knows to press the right. Well, not even just record it, I would say, and get going here. Anywho, as we look at the last council meeting here, we start with Mayor Proclamation recognizing Hunger Action Month.
Yeah, September is Hunger Action Month, and for the second year in a row, City Hall is being lit in orange in recognition of Hunger Action Month, and then the Common Council also read a proclamation in recognition of Hunger Month.
You may have saw City Hall is orange out in front. Same deal, represents that. We also had a recognition for Police Sergeant Logan Brown on Community Night Out. Did a really good job.
Yeah, Sergeant Brown has been the lead police department member on our Community Night Out for the last several years, and it seems like every year it gets bigger and better, and this year was no exception to that. I believe Sergeant Brown estimated last night that there were about 4,000 people that they believe went through McKee Farms Park the night of the picnic last month. So as was done last year, Mayor Arata Frada recognized Logan for his contributions to that event and really his efforts to bring community together.
It truly is. If you had not been to it, I mean, that is true sense of community right there. It's they've done a great job, and it's a team effort. I mean, Logan would tell you that it's a team effort,
Yes,
but
he did,
yeah, either way, I appreciate that. We also had mayoral appointments for the what now is the Community Equity Advisory Committee. So before it was an advisory group, now moves into a committee.
Yeah, so to your point, it was officially termed an ad hoc committee.
Yeah, I was trying to get the word and I couldn't do it.
Via ordinance by the mayor, and ultimately the Common Council approved this committee to be a committee created by ordinance now. An ordinance had been passed, I think, back in June, and these are the first 5 appointments to this committee. The mayor mentioned there's one more city or citizen appointee that will still be made, and then I believe there's an alder on that committee as well. So there's a total of 7 committee members, if I recall correctly.
All right. Well, we'll bring you that meeting as it gets added to the list of meetings. On to our agenda, and we start first with from the Plan Commission side, an ordinance on amending the Code of Ordinance. I guess I don't even know. Like, there's many things into this, so Code and Ordinance is probably really underselling that. But
yeah, this could probably be an entire segment or show in and of itself to discuss the ordinance changes that were made to our zoning code last evening. Really, these changes are premised on the information that we have right now about the housing situation in Dane County. There is a housing report from Dane County that came out within the last couple of years that it indicates, that there are thousands of units that are housing units that are needed across all housing types and affordability ranges in Dane County over the next 20 to 30 years. In the city of Fitchburg alone, our portion of that is right around 500 units a year. And there are some things in our zoning code that were geared much towards suburban Fitchburg of the 1980s and 90s. And there's some updates that were done in regards to things like solar energy systems, medium density residential, high density urban district, and other things associated with development. Oftentimes with today's development, which is often higher density than what previously had been done, we have to sometimes use a planned development district, which we tend to over-rely on because our zoning code hasn't been updated over the years to more contemporary standards. So this is kind of the first step in making some updates in the short term. We also have a smart code, zoning code, that covers a portion of our city as well. I think our planning and zoning administrator said that we're the only municipality in Wisconsin that is running with 2 zoning codes. And that does create some challenges, of course. So we'll also be planning a comprehensive land use plan update beginning next year, which will then follow with a full zoning code rewrite and update. So This is the first step on the journey.
It could.
Sorry to get windy.
It's hard though because there's a lot of stuff packed into here, and it did pass, so it moves forward, but there will be more to come, I guess you could say, as we move through this. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
I would encourage anybody just on this topic to go ahead and look at the packet of information that was in there that fully outlines the changes that were done, and to reach out to Deanna Schmidt, our Planning and Zoning Administrator, if they have any questions.
Yeah, and she did present at the community, I'm just going to read them out here, Planning Commission, CEDA, which is Community Economic Development Authority, Resource Conservation Commission, and Housing, taking all of their, so if you're kind of curious about the presentation about each of those, and then the questions that came from, it gives you kind of a clue of what was going on, and gets you to our meeting there. So, like you said, a lot in there, but good resources out there. All right, over to Board of Public Works, accepting assignment of vegetation management contracts.
Yeah, this is a resolution that passed last evening by our Common Council. Effectively, the company that had been providing this service for us, the ownership retired. Employees of that company have assumed ownership of a similar company or created a similar company, and this just assigns the contracts to those to this new company.
All right, a resolution on granting underground electric easement in our Fahey Fields project. That's McGaw Park for if you're keeping track.
Right, so we're in the process of a pickleball court expansion there, and this easement is necessary in order to install and, more importantly, energize lights that could be used at that pickleball facility. So this did pass after some discussion, but ultimately it is the city's intent to install lights at the pickleball court, and in fact the mayor has asked staff to prepare a referral and resolution for one of the next upcoming meetings.
We'll have a ribbon cutting. I get my groundbreaking and ribbon cuttings mixed up. Ribbon cutting coming up for that new courts there as well. So excited for that.
Yeah.
Over to accepting of a subdivision improvements for Phase 4 plot in the Highfield Reserve area. This action being postponed.
It was postponed. We're not ready to act on that, so it'll come back at a later time.
Then we move on to accepting subdivision improvements on a plot at the Oak Meadows Reserve.
Same situation there. That was also postponed while we wait for some additional materials, and we'll take it up again when we have those materials available.
And an acceptance of partial assessment or assignment and assumption of subdivision improvement agreement. I'm just going to stop there.
Yeah, so these are common in the development world where a developer or landowner has a subdivision improvement agreement with the city, and then they sell a portion of their land or development to another entity to develop a particular parcel or series of parcels, for instance. So what we have here is, in this particular situation, the developers of the Uptown neighborhood have sold a parcel of land for a new rehabilitation hospital, and this assigns a portion of the subdivision improvement agreement that covers this new the rehab hospital parcel to the developer of that hospital.
It's a lot of information.
It is a lot of information.
All right.
Sorry to bore you and everyone else.
Oh, bore? No. You know, I've got these extensive notes in there now, so I can understand a little bit better myself. So, good. You know, he referenced the packet. You can always check the packet to see what he's talking about as well. We also have Park Commission here. We move on to amending the general fund balance for park repairs. I have marked it down as some toilet repair. Yeah,
there's some toilets that are well past their useful age, and we can't find parts for them any longer, so we're looking to replace some toilet parts and toilets themselves, as well as some dividers within one of the restroom shelters. There was a bit of a conversation about the cost associated with this, which we recognize. This cost is higher than what a homeowner would see. Obviously, these fixtures are commercial grade. They have sensors on there for automatic flushing and those sorts of things. And I was told, came out at the meeting last night, just one of those sensors alone is $700 or $800. So. Yeah.
But needed change there, and gets those bathrooms back up and running, which is important as well. Over to resolution for amending the 2025 TID closure excess increment fund, and this is for some tennis courts, I believe.
Yeah, this is going to allow us to begin the process of the Swan Creek tennis court replacement. I believe this resolution authorized staff to go ahead and begin the design work for that particular project, as well as added an additional $50,000 to the budget. We had $250,000 budgeted for that particular tennis court, but based on a recent project that we're doing, that $250,000 will not be adequate.
All right, and that passed as well. Moving on to Resource Conservation Commission, they had a resolution acceptance of Organics Management Grant Award and approval of contract to Dane County Waste and Renewables. Woo.
Right. There was a rather substantial and lengthy conversation about this, which I won't obviously go into for the purposes of the segment here, but I would encourage anybody who has an interest in this topic to go to the Common Council recording on the Fact TV website and take a look at it. A fair portion of the conversation stemmed around the location of some bins that would be part of this pilot project, and city staff ultimately will look at an alternate location for these particular bins. But in the interest of time, this was passed last evening, which will allow a pilot program for the next year, where those who wish to participate in the program will have an area to drop off food scraps that they don't either have the ability or interest in composting at their residence.
All right, we'll tell you about the location once it's determined. Over to our Community Economic Development Authority on a resolution approving a contract between the City of Fitchburg and Sustain Dane. This is for the Efficiency Navigator program, specifically adding windows.
Right, so we are participants with Sustain Dane in the Energy Efficiency Navigator program, which is a program that they coordinate that allows existing small multifamily property owners the ability to make energy efficient upgrades that directly benefit the residents or the tenants of that particular building. There are a number of requirements that have to be met, and again, this particular initiative is focusing on buildings that are 16 units or less and not necessarily corporately owned, so to speak. The original grant submissions, there were a number of windows requested as part of the energy efficiency upgrades, and the bids for those windows came in notably higher than what was originally approved in funding. So this resolution added more funding to it, and it is important to note that this funding is not general tax levy funding. This is funding that was created through successful tax increment districts and the closure of those districts utilizing state statute authority to create an affordable housing fund with those district proceeds.
Pretty cool program there.
Yeah.
And that did approve.
Yes, it did approve.
All right, moving on to Finance Committee. Thank you for that. We have the replacement purchase of police pole cameras.
Sure. The police department has some portable cameras that they can utilize in a variety of different situations from a public safety perspective. These cameras, I believe they mentioned, were about 11 years old and well past their useful life, so this resolution authorized what was already a budgeted project to go ahead and proceed.
All right, and then on the Public Safety Human Services, we have approving recognition of a police department and Public Safety Human Services. This has to do with change in staffing in the police department.
Right. Our police department has identified the need to reorganize their structure and use their provided resources differently than how they're currently utilizing them. As we are coming off the referendum result from last November, city staff across departments is looking at ways to utilize the resources that we have to try to be as efficient as possible and address the needs in creative and innovative ways. The police department currently is looking at this was actually approved, so what the police department will be doing is reclassifying 3 police officer positions, the funding for those positions, to a supervisory and a command level position that will help at the supervisory and management levels. They're also ceasing dispatch operations and converting the funding for those positions that are in the dispatch center to 2 non-sworn positions that will help support police operations. And the unfortunate byproduct of this as well is that 2 non-sworn employees will ultimately be laid off from employment with the city. And again, this is the result of the referendum. We do not have any additional staff that are coming on board to provide the needed relief that is needed not only for the police department, but nearly every single other city department. So this is one strategy that the department is utilizing to at least address their most pressing needs right now. And it does not in any way diminish their need for additional staff capacity to be added.
All right, we move on to direct referrals on ordinance updating the substitutory reference for battery forfeiture violation. I have no clue, and I missed even during the meeting what this was about, so This is interesting.
So the city has a code of ordinances that in many cases our police officers have the ability to write citations on. In most situations, they are adopting similar state statutes. So for instance, in this case, there is a state statute for battery. That means that if you're arrested on a state charge for battery, you are processed in jail and charged if all the appropriate factors are met at the Dane County court level. The city police department also has the ability to write a citation for battery. Maybe it's a lower level offense or situation and it doesn't warrant a county charge, so to speak, or state charge. So they can write basically what it would be a ticket for this, but our ordinances have to reflect the appropriate statute number because we just typically adopt the state statute number for that offense. So that's what this does. Because there was a change at the state level, it now ensures that our police officers' battery citations are in compliance, if you will.
Just so you know, folks, he didn't have like a note here that referenced. That was all right off the memory. I mean, that's
perhaps my prior roles may have helped with that.
Yeah, you did jump me on that. I was going to say, I don't know, some of PD and your past history has something maybe to do with that. But nevertheless, an ordinance update for sure. And appreciate, as always, Chad, you going through this. I know there's a lot of information. Again, you can go back and watch the meeting at our website or through our different channels there. Next meeting for Common Council is September 23rd, and the Committee of the Whole meeting is set for September 24th. We'll see you back then.
Sounds great.